Okay, so there's finally some news regarding Trump's special master. This special judge that was appointed to review all the evidence that Trump presented, or all the documents that he was accused of stealing. This so-called special master has to review all the documents before the court gets to review it. People thought this was a really scummy move. It was kind of weird. It was kind of trying to like weasel his way out of it, but there is some good news on that front. Seems like the special master is not totally in Trump's pocket. So let's see. Donald Trump miscalculated with Special Master Deary, says a certain legal analyst. Donald Trump made a mistake by requesting Raymond Deary be appointed special master in the classified documents investigation, as the former president's legal team is already refusing to cooperate with the judge's demands. Deary was named a federal judge to be the independent third party to review the 10,000 documents seized from Trump's Maralago resort, and asked the former president to disclose details about any materials he claims to have declassified before he left office in January 2021. Trump's attorneys requested that Deary, one of two picks the former president wanted as special master, drop the request for evidence about declassified documents, arguing they could be used in a legal defense against potential criminal charges. Okay, so it seems like Deary was one of two picks the former president wanted as a special master. Imagine like being able to choose the judge that is going to like oversee your like criminal case. That's just insane to me. And it's not just a judge, it's like, was Cannon appointed by Trump? I forget. Yeah, and then there's the special master is an independent third party to review the documents. Now, I don't know what exactly the review was supposed to do exactly. It seems like Trump and his legal team was just trying to buy time. I'm not sure what the special master would do. I mean, would the special master like decide that certain documents can't be submitted for evidence or something? And he's just saying that, I don't know, because just to protect Trump. Yeah, that would be very, very corrupt. But looks like these people are better than that. Yeah, they're not totally in Trump's pocket. This is like this reminds me of when Trump lost the 2020 election, right? And then he had to go through all these judges and like trying to push through these legal cases about these ballots were stolen, these ballots were totally fake, because we saw these big massive dumps being done at 3 a.m. at these polling sites. But and Trump like kind of expected them to play along with it, like it's kind of like insane. It's a peek into Trump's diseased mind, where he thinks like, everyone supports me except for the radical left. It's like, no, there are perfectly reasonable moderate people, even conservative people, who are not willing to break the law for you, right? Maybe they would like it if Biden was not president. Maybe they would just like it if a Republican was elected president. But they were like, we're not going to just like rule the wrong way in a court case just because it's going to help you. No, it's just like such a sense of entitlement from Trump. It's like, not only is he like a rich white man which is like the most entitled creature on the planet, he's even more entitled than that. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with him exactly. I mean, who knows? He's like a failed reality TV show host. He's not like as rich as he claims to be. He's like, I don't know. He's just like a teenager who never grew up, and he never grew to understand, like, I don't know, how the world works. Like, people are not going to do things for you. Nobody owes you anything. That's the thing. He thinks people owe him things because people have been in his employ, like, throughout his whole life. He's had servants doing things for him. Well, that's not how it is. Like, on the bottom of society, nobody has that. And I don't think he realizes that. He's so, like, insulated, he doesn't realize that. Anyway, and then he even wanted the special, the Supreme Court, he's to rule in his favor. He said, we're gonna take my basis claims of a stolen election all the way up to the Supreme Court, and we're going to just have the Supreme Court overturn the election, I guess, like they did in 2000s. Yeah, he thinks that the Supreme Court was going to steal the election for him like they stole the election for George Bush in 2000. Well, honestly, they might have done that if the election was a lot closer, right? I mean, the election of 2000 was very, very close. It came down to just Florida, right? It came down to just like a few hundred votes in Florida. And, the Bush v. Gore case was such BS, man. I don't know how it went through, but it was a 5-4 decision, right? And then, people talk about the Supreme Court becoming illegitimate. In a lot of people's eyes, the Supreme Court became illegitimate that day they came out with that ruling. I was like, Al Gore won. Al Gore should have won. Al Gore won the popular vote, right? And he should have won the electoral vote if it wasn't for these election shenanigans being pulled in Florida. They literally did a riot, the Brooks Brothers riot, where they stopped votes from being counted by force. It was sort of like the baby of January 6th, right? Using just like a violent mob to stop the counting of votes. That's sort of what they were trying to do in January 6th. They were trying to stop the counting of, they were trying to stop the certification of the election, which is more like a ceremonial thing. I mean, there's nothing to do really at that point. It's like the votes have already been cast. The election has already been won. But 2000 was a lot more, I don't know if it was more organized, but they were able to steal it a lot easier because it was just a small little step, right? Just to get across the finish line. But like in the 2020 election, they would have had to overturn the results of multiple states, right? To overturn the election results. Deary should simply decide that he is going to accept the government's assessment that the docs that are marked classified are classified. If Trump wants to wait until he is charged to litigate the declassification, it's unclear what the point is in reviewing them further now. Well, it seems like the point is to delay the case as much as possible. Because why does it matter when you review the documents? Whether you review it now or during the trial. Seems like they're buying as much time as they possibly can. And like I said, the documents that are marked classified are classified. Because if you declassify documents, the least you can do is like take them out of the folder that says classified on them. Even if you could declassify something with your mind, the president could. I mean, how could you prove that? How could you prove that you declassified things 2 years ago? So they have to go through thousands of records seized by FBI agents. They're including those marked top secret. So apparently some of them are so top secret that they have to find people with high enough security clearance just to review the documents to make sure that they really are that classified, that sensitive. Because there are only so many people that can review TSSCI documents, which is like even higher than top secret intel. That's like nuclear info. That stuff's really scary. Like, who is he sharing our nuclear secrets with? Right? Russia? China? Someone else? Saudi Arabia? Armenia? I don't know. That's really scary. What if we actually have a nuclear war and we find out, like, oh, whoops, our nuclear launch computer has been hacked and we can't launch any nukes. I guess we just have to get nuked now. There's no more mutually assured destruction. That's really scary. The only reason that oh, hello. Yeah, he wants it as leverage. Yeah, it's possible he wants it as leverage to debate, or yeah, but it doesn't make sense because he got in trouble just for possessing the documents. We're going over the special master, like not playing along with Trump anymore. They're just trying to trying to get evidence that the documents were declassified, right? So yeah. Either you got the evidence or you don't. You gotta nut up or shut up, Trump's lawyers. Yeah, Trump keeps saying that he declassified the documents, but he, I don't know, he just never did. Or if he did, there would be some evidence of it, right? There would be some, like, you know, paperwork involved in declassifying documents. And yeah, if you're going to declassify documents, you're like, you gotta take them out of the classified folder. That's literally the least you could do. Deary is a senior United States District Judge for the Eastern District of New York. Ooh. Trump and New York lawyers, New York attorneys, or New York judges do not have a good history. Or Trump has a not good history with the New York legal system, right? Because he's got at least one lawsuit. He's got at least one lawsuit going in the New York court system. Maybe two. Maybe even three. I don't know, it's hard to keep track of all these lawsuits he's in. So, Judge Deary's job is to determine if any of the materials are protected by attorney-client privilege or executive privilege. So the thing about that is that executive privilege is something that applies to the office of the president, not the president themselves. Executive privilege is meant to serve, like, you know, it's not meant to serve, like, oh, whatever former presidents want to do. That's not what it's for. It's for, like, it's for, you know, doing the job of president as you're being president, right? Former presidents don't need executive privilege because, like, what are they going to use it for? Like, I guess keeping documents in your basement, but since executive privilege is invested in the office of the president, the current president can decide if former presidents are entitled to executive privilege. Yeah, using all these words like entitlement and privilege, it's like you think we're talking about liberals or socialists, but no. We're talking about, oh, is Trump entitled to the privilege of having top secret documents in his basement? Yeah, funny thing to think about. So, we know that Obama had some executive privilege after he left office, right? But, you know, Trump is just, like, on a whole other level of crazy, right? He just did not do what a president is supposed to do. He just didn't. and he violated his oath of office in various ways. He he desecrated the sanctity of the office. Oh, it's so sacred. But he actually did. Um, he did so many things a president is not supposed to do, and didn't do so many things a president is supposed to do. It's like hard to say he even counts as a president, right? Like he was president in name only, you could say. He's a Pino. He's president in name only. I just thought of that. I mean, it's accurate, right? He held the office of the presidency for 4 years, but what did he do with it? Mostly he was golfing and watching Fox News and live tweeting about what he just saw on Fox News, right? Literal Fox News grandpa as our president for 4 fucking years. Yeah. Great. Great. It's just what this country needed. Anyway. Oh yeah. So since Trump doesn't even count as a real president, um it's an easy decision to make for the current president, especially Biden, who is not on good terms with Trump, to simply revoke his executive privilege. I mean, it's easy enough to say your executive privilege should be revoked. It's even easier if, you're using your executive privilege to what exactly? To do what? Just keep secret documents, yeah, in your closet. So unless we're like absolutely sure he's using it for like good purposes that are like serving this country, which he probably is not, then he is not entitled to keep these documents. No. So yeah, that's executive privilege for you. His appointment as special master in the case was praised as a good decision with a number of experts and those who know him saying the 78-year-old is fair and will not be intimidated by the high-profile role. Yeah, it's good. If you're 78 years old, you got nothing to lose. You're gonna die soon anyway, right? So like, who cares if people will think less of me? Daniel R. Alonzo, a former federal prosecutor in Brooklyn, says he believed Trump made a big mistake by putting forward Dearie. Was appointed to the bench by then Republican President Ronald Reagan in 1986. There it is. I mean, yeah, they're so old. They're a veteran judge. So, yeah, it makes sense. Appointed by Reagan. Yeah. Reagan was like the original Trump, right? But like, at least Reagan, I don't know. It was broadly appealing to like a, a vast majority of Americans. He actually, I don't know, had a somewhat competent administration, I guess. Yeah, so Trump believed the judge would lean more towards him in the case. Dearie is not a good pick for Trump here because he doesn't tolerate nonsense. Dark Dearie is going to destroy Trump. Badass. Hidden signs you are depressed. Yeah, I'm not. My signs are not hidden at all. Oh, this is all just clickbait. A teaspoon on an empty stomach burns 12 pounds of fat a week safely. Yeah, cheap weight loss stuff. Anyway. Anyway, yeah. Like I said before, it seems like Trump thinks he's entitled to certain things. He's entitled to people like judges who treat him nicely, but no. Ooh. So seems like Trump and his lawyers are just trying to drag everything out as long as they can because they're just trying to buy time. Because I guess that means more time that Trump can spend outside a jail cell or Who knows if he's actually going to go to prison. That would be so funny if he actually went to prison, not just because of the riots that would ensue, but like just the logistical issues involved with having a former president be in federal prison. It's like, how do you even do that? Because the president always has to have Secret Service with him at all times, right? So do you send Secret Service agents to prison with him? Do you have agents just like standing outside his cell in like full suits? Does he have like a special cell, the presidential suite of the prison? Oh man. Yeah, that would be interesting because there are some nice federal prisons. There are, and there are like unironically prisons for rich people, right? The prisons that due to commit financial crimes go to. They just like play tennis all day. They can watch TV, and it kind of sucks, but like it's almost as luxurious as like a regular European prison, right? Ooh. And Deary put in a hard deadline of October 7th. Ooh, that's gonna make good content. It's only a few weeks. And it's before the midterms. That's a big thing. I wonder how whatever happens is going to affect the midterms. Because on one hand, if Trump is indicted, if Trump is found guilty, or like there's more evidence that comes out, if the trial is not going well for him, that could mean like the of course he loses a lot of credibility, and it's possible like his candidates that he endorsed will lose credibility, and possibly like the party as a whole, the Republican Party will lose credibility, and they'll lose a lot of steam. Because like, what did they have? They have these like culture war issues that they rile people up about. First it was CRT, then gay and trans, grooming people, right? I guess they're still on the grooming thing now. But they don't really have a vision for this country any more than their Democrats do. On the other hand, it's possible that like I don't know, Trump has and the Republicans have really been playing the victim about things, right? Because they were like, oh, this is such a terrible thing. How could they raid Mar-a-Lago? This is just such an overreach of like federal authority. If they could raid a former president, then they could raid you too. And it's like, well, yeah, we already knew that. We already knew that we could be raided by other people. In fact, Americans get raided by law enforcement, like militarized law enforcement, every day in America, right? And they're talking about like all the Republicans and Trump supporters are talking about how unfair it is, how the FBI and federal agencies have been weaponized by the Biden administration. They've become politicized, right? But if they actually have something, if it's proven that Trump actually like committed a crime, then I think those arguments will really start to fall apart. Honestly, the worst thing that could happen is if like this case concludes like the Mueller investigation did, where it's like, oh, we can't prove that he did anything wrong, but like we can't disprove it either, and the right wing, of course, will take that and run with it and go like, oh, see, totally exonerated, 100%, no collusion found. Yeah, if they actually have something, then it'll be really bad for the right wing. Yeah, and then there will be requests for further delays, extensions, super special masters, whatever crap they can come up with. Don't count on a deadline when dealing with Trump. Oh yeah, Trump is like the master of extending deadlines. Reminds me of uh, college students back in the day who would like request deadline extensions on their papers, on their final drafts of their project, whatever they're working on, and it's like it's yeah, it just means you haven't really put in your work, right? Yeah, all these Trumpists, these I mean Trump himself, like I said, he's like a bratty teenager who never had to grow up, and so he never like had the discipline, right, to actually get stuff done. But yeah, he's so really just like dragging his feet when it comes to this. Anyway, what did you declassify? I'm not telling. It's double declassified. I can't tell you. I can't. It's so classified. I can't even tell you what I declassified. That's how classified it is, folks. Believe me. You gotta believe me, folks. Come on. Come on. What do you got to lose? It's a double top secret declassification, which is so top secret. It's it itself. It's classified. The declassification is classified. Yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, Donald Trump fucked. Um, we'll see how fucked he is exactly. In the coming weeks and months. Yeah, October 7th is like 3 to 4 weeks away. So we'll see, and then we'll see how the midterms go, and we'll see how all these legal battles that Trump is engaged in affects the outcome of the midterm election. It'll be really interesting to see. Well, thank you for watching, and good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Yep.